Welcome to MarlaMiller.com's Marketing the Muse, our 33rd quick query critique. I think it's 33rd, it might be 34th. This one is young adult fiction, and I'm trying to think if there are any announcements that I need to make, but I don't think that there are. I'm hoping that you're enjoying the site and that you've clicked on my latest radio show that featured Victoria Strauss and Ann Crispin, co-creators of Writer Beware. It's a fabulous site that I hope all of my subscribers support because they've been supporting us for a long time. And they do it without any benefit of remuneration at all. They just do it because they're passionate about it. So I'm a big fan. Okay, let's do this query letter that I got not too long ago. Okay. So I said it's YA, young adult fiction. Here we go. Dear, and he has a specific agent, which, by the way, I think is a good one for this book. So, okay, here we go. Dear blank, for high school students in rural eastern Washington, there are few things more important than sex, drugs, and rock and roll, unless it's football. In this tale, that's Friday Night Lights meets The Outsiders, the ordinary becomes the extraordinary as the teens of Riverton High face off with opponents and their own inner demons. As a high school teacher and coach for the last 2 decades, I feel qualified to tell this story. I graduated from Eastern Oregon University with a BA in history. I teach in the remote woods of eastern Washington while actively pursuing my writing career. My poems and short stories have been published in magazines like Blank, Blank, and Blank, and my 2 latest anthologies are Blank and Blank. Fourth and Forever centers around the small-town quarterback Lance Tuff Stratton, a cocksure senior. Tuff is confident with the help of lineman Bronny Briggs and the guidance of football coach Ray Thomas. Tuff is confident that with the help of lineman Bronny Briggs and the guidance of football coach Ray Thomas, his team will make the playoffs for the first time in school history. But small towns harbor dark secrets. Alcohol and bravado are a bad combination that leads to tragedy. Can the team pull together despite the adversity? What sets this novel apart from the crowd is that it is based on 8-man football instead of the standard 11-man fare. As small towns dry up economically across the nation, school populations dwindle, and the 8-man is becoming increasingly popular. There are 0 8-man football novels focused on the massive junior high and high school markets. My own players simply don't read, but when they have to, they want the 3 Gs, guts, girls, and glory. Fourth and Forever has what they need. I have been an 8-man football coach for 8 years and in schools for 20. I see what the boys are lacking in reading material and what can't turn them on. I feel that with your help, Fourth and Forever would get a very good reception across the country. Thank you for your time and consideration you give Fourth and Forever. I can be reached via email. Sincerely. Okay, what do I think of this query letter? Now, again, I always post them on the site. Well,
there's a couple of things. I like it. I like the story. I like the fact that he's targeting young male readers. I think that's great. I agree with him that in order to get them to read, you've got to have the 3 Gs. And I have no doubt that Guts, Girls, and Glory will bleed through Fourth and Forever. Having said that, a couple of things. If you look at the query letter, you will see that in the second paragraph, he introduces the book sans the title in the first paragraph. Okay, he tells us that it's a cross between, 2 noted titles, but he doesn't tell us the title in the first paragraph, so that's a no-no. Put that title in. In the second paragraph, he then goes on to give his credentials. Now, his credentials are excellent and absolutely suited for writing this novel. So I would believe, if I were an agent, that he could do it because of what he's been doing for the last 20 years. But it shouldn't go there. It shouldn't go in the second paragraph. It shouldn't go before he distills his story and hooks us, should it? So he needs to move that. Okay. A couple of other things. I like his characters' names, but I wonder if they're just too caricaturish. I don't know. I mean, they could be fine. Lance Tuff Stratton and Bronny Briggs could be fine. I
I understand what he's saying about the 8-man team as opposed to the 11-man, but and again, I don't know football, uh, but I'm just wondering. Well, I don't know it well, but I'm wondering what that would have to do with making this story any different than any other football story. Um, so if 8-man is going to play central to this storyline, if there's something about the 8-man that caused the tragedy, or I don't know, I think that needs to be developed a bit more if 8-man is central to this. Otherwise, I'm not quite sure why he spends a paragraph talking about the difference between an 8-man and an 11-man squad. And I get that there are no books about, no novels about an 8-man squad, but I don't know how that is germane to this story. So if it is, flesh that out just a little bit more with a sentence or two. Um, and I think that's really about it. I like it. I think it's, I'm assuming that there's some kind of tragedy that brings the boys together, or that lets the reader know that the town is hiding or harboring some horrible secret. Uh, I think if I were an agent who was interested in young adult, especially young adult that targeted young teenage boys, I'd want to see the first 3 chapters of this, but rearrange this query letter because you can do better with what you have right here. Perhaps adding a sentence or two, but just rearrange it for the best impact. I hope that's helpful to you. If you would like to resubmit, I'm glad to take another look. And until the next time, be well, keep writing.